Eric and Noah here.
And in this video, we are going to convert fractions into decimals. All right, so we have a fraction. We've got our fraction bar here. We have some number on the top, and we have some number on the bottom. And the top number is usually referred to as the numerator, while the bottom number we normally call the denominator. And if we're going to convert this fraction into a decimal value, we need to recognize that the fraction is equivalent to taking the top number and dividing it by the bottom number. So the forward slash here we have in between the top and the bottom number is our divide sign. But we might also see this division symbol with like the dot above and below a horizontal line. This division symbol is also commonly used. But either way, to convert a fraction into a decimal, we take our fraction and recognize that it's equivalent to the top number divided by the bottom number. And this is going to be the rule that we're going to use.
So in the corner, we have the formula that Noah wrote down for converting fractions into decimals. And in this example, we'll do that with the fraction 5/8. And here, 5 is the top, or the numerator. And 8 is the bottom, or the denominator. And so to convert 5/8 to a fraction, following this rule, we'll do the top 5 divided by, and depending on your device, you might see the division symbol as this forward slash. So then we would do 5 divided by 8. Or, again, depending on your device, you might see the division symbol as this horizontal line with these two dots. So then following this rule, we would do the top 5 divided by the bottom 8. And then Noah will show us how we enter this into a calculator.
All right, so I have a TI-30 here, which has the same basic layout as all of the TI calculators. And to convert 5/8 from a fraction into a decimal, we're going to go ahead and press 5, and then the division symbol, and then the 8, and then we press Enter, and we get 0.625.
Thanks, Noah. So now we know that 5/8 as a decimal is 0.625.
Excellent. Thank you, Eric. So next we want to look at an example of what we call an improper fraction. An improper fraction is a fraction where the top is bigger than the denominator, or the bottom. So we will look at the example of 8/5, or 8/5. The 8, the top value, is bigger than the bottom number, the 5 here. But the rule for how do we convert this into a decimal isn't going to change. We're still going to use the rule that top over bottom is equal to top divided by bottom. And so we're going to take the 8/5 and do the 8 divided by the 5, the top divided by the bottom. And then we're just going to plug that into the calculator.
I have my iPhone calculator here in vertical mode. And following the top divided by bottom rule, I'll enter the top number 8, followed by the division sign, and then the bottom number 5. And then I'll press the equal sign to get an answer. And we can see that the calculator shows us 1.6.
Thanks, Eric. And we see then that 8 divided by 5, or 8/5, is equal to 1.6. And this is what happens when we have an improper fraction, when we have something with the top number bigger than the bottom number, is we get a decimal value that is bigger than 1. Great. So in our first couple of examples, we've seen the basics. We've seen a regular fraction be converted into a decimal using a fraction, and an improper fraction we've also converted. But sometimes we see that we plug something into the calculator and the digits go all the way across the screen, often the same digit or a couple of digits repeating the whole way. Yeah?
Right. So in our next example, we'll take a look at an example where that happens, where the digits repeat all the way across the screen. And we'll get a chance to look at how we can write the exact answer in that case, and also how we can use rounding to write some shorter answers that are more manageable. So as an example of where the decimal keeps going, we'll use the fraction 25/99. And so following this rule, where the top over the bottom is the top divided by the bottom, to turn this into a decimal, we'll need to start with 25 divided by 99. And then Noah will show us how we enter that into the calculator.
Okay, to convert 25 over 99, or 25/99, into a decimal, we're going to go to desmos.com. That's DESMOS.com. And we can use any of these first three calculators here on their website, the graphing, the scientific, or the 4-function. We're going to go to the scientific calculator, and this pulls up our calculator, and we can enter 25. You can also type this on your keyboard if you prefer, and then the division symbol, and then the 99. And it's really nice in these online calculators because it shows the division as a fraction, so we're able to really see that we've entered it correctly. It gives us that 25 over 99 is equal to 0.2525252525. And we'll give it back to Eric.
Thanks, Noah. So on Noah's calculator, we saw the decimal answer, and it was 0.25. And Noah showed us that it went out to 10 digits. I'm going to write mine with 6 digits because we just need enough digits to show the pattern, and this is enough to show that repeating 2-5 pattern. But to indicate that the pattern repeats infinitely, I'm going to use these 3 dots at the end, which we'll call an ellipses, and so that shows that this 2-5 pattern keeps going. Another way that we can get an exact answer that's written more compactly is we can write the 0.25 just once, and then we'll put a bar over this pair of repeating digits. And what that bar tells the reader is that those digits, that 2 and 5, that they repeat infinitely, just like we can see in this example above. Or we might get a more compact answer by rounding. But when we round, it's no longer an exact answer, and so we'll indicate that it's not an exact answer by using these squiggly equal signs, or this approximately equal to, instead of the straight line equals that I've been using before. And so here I'll round to 3 digits, and to help us out, let's look at this one where I wrote out 6 digits. So to round to 3 digits, we'll need to look at the 3rd digit, and then we'll look at the digit just after it, the 5, and that number being a 5 makes that 3rd digit 2 round up to a 3, and so rounded to 3 decimal places, our answer is 0.253.
Thanks, everybody. We hope this video has been helpful.
Keep calm and math on.